everyone.
Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to yet another amazing session with us BYJU'S. I'm Aishwarya
I'm Ankita.
and today we are going to be learning all about monkeypox. So ma'am, I think this word monkeypox has been there, they keep hearing about it here and there, right? So I think as science students, we are going to be telling them the science of all about monkeypox, right?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Those of you saying good evening, all of you, welcome to the class. Right? And of course, this word is, now we'll say it's very common, right? It's been there with us, this word specifically, more than 60, 70 years back. But now, very recently, we are hearing about this word very commonly, right? Now, I think every day you will see in the newspaper also, and there are there's a sense of confusion.
Yes.
Because we don't know much about it.
Right.
So we thought we should be discussing with you the bio part of it.
Right. So good evening everybody, and as you can see, it is a dual stream. So we're going live both on the 9th and 10th and the 6 to 8 channel. So of course we'll try to take as many comments as we can, right ma'am?
Yes, yeah. So if, just in case, if please don't compare us, don't say, oh, we forgot you, we remember, right? And of course, sorry from the beginning if we can't take all of your names, but you know that we can see your comments. So if you have any doubts, you can definitely write in the comment section.
Yes. So don't worry about, don't feel bad if we are not picking it out. Like ma'am said, we are of course going to check the comment section of this video. And of course, everybody, I think they would have watched the promo video for ANTHE, right?
Yes,
we started off with ANTHE. So ma'am, how exciting is ANTHE?
And it's really very exciting, right? First of all, it's a very important examination. Now, we don't know what are the talents we have, right? So, basically, this examination will actually help us in that. More than that, you know what? This particular examination will give you a chance to win 100% scholarship. And ma'am, tell them the amazing thing about this examination.
Yes, so 5 lucky students who are there, or a few lucky students I would say, would win an all-expense trip to NASA along with scholarship. You will have cash rewards and so much more. And all of you, don't worry about this black thing that you're seeing behind us. It's just that there's
just the effects here.
Yes.
We want to just get highlighted here. So,
yeah.
we are here.
So we have all this. Don't worry about that.
Ma'am, you look like that. Yes, she does.
All right. Okay. So now, of course...
Sorry for saying that. I have a talent of singing. Yes, very good, Tejaswini.
All right, everyone. So this was all about ANTHE, and the registration is absolutely free. So if this is the first time that you are hearing about ANTHE, you are new to our channel, and this is the first video that they are watching.
Yes.
Register for ANTHE. Link is there in the description box below. Yes?
Good evening, good evening. Yes.
Right. So can we also scroll down for the chat for 6 to 8? Because I think the chat is stuck there. All right, everybody. And I think, ma'am, we have our mission midterms going on, right?
Which is like important, and all of you are preparing for that, and we are kind of geared up. So we have amazing sessions happening around it. We have complete one-shot sessions. Of course, you get the PDF on the Telegram. So if you haven't joined the group, please join the group on Telegram for both the channels, right? For 6 to 8, you can ask your parents to join on behalf of you. So that will help. It will be helping. More than that, we have everything, right? We are doing a lot of different types of sessions for you guys, so that we are covering all the important points. We have question sessions, mock tests will be there. There are doubt sessions, right? Marathons are there.
Yes, and of course for all of this, we are going to be racing to 100% in 45 days. It's a 45-day plan that we have for you. So all of you, please keep subscribed to our channel, right, ma'am?
Yes. It goes for both the channels, 6 to 8 and 9th and 10th. So that's important. Same things are happening. But of course, the grades are different. So yeah.
And of course, BYJU'S mini learning program is back, right, ma'am?
Yeah. On the popular demand, I would say.
Yes. So of course, for the first 1,000 users every week, you can avail this YTFIRST code. It's not YT free, but it's YTFIRST, where for the first 1,000 users, which means if you're not amongst the first 1,000 users, maybe you may not be able to avail the offer. But of course, my mini learning program has so many features to teacher advantage, just like as you can see. You will find that in the mini learning program. You will be able to access to so many post-class assessments. You'll get a lot of things there.
Yeah. And I think most importantly, they can pick the timing of their own classes. So that's
Yes.
very important, right? There are times when we are busy with our homework, maybe we want to play outside, but if you have this particular option of choosing your class, it's kind of a good advantage, right?
Yes, definitely. All right. So, of course, we gave you a little bit of all of this because, you know, we wanted more and more students to join the class. So, of course, you know, the first 5 minutes we tend to wait for everybody to come, get settled, right? So, today, all of you make sure they have a bottle of water, everything set and relaxed, right? So, just stay calm and watch the video. It's not anything wherein we're having a mission midterms here.
Yeah.
This is just for you to know. It's a session where we're going to be informing you and you will just be learning about it, the science behind it, right, ma'am?
Yes. And for us to, just remember one thing, that there's nothing to be scared of, right? We will be talking in terms of the bio part of it. We will try our best to give you the information. But there's one thing which I think all of us needs to understand is that it's a situation, it's a disease, right? And every disease has a treatment.
Yes.
Treatment, we know the precautions. If the treatment are not right up there, we have the precautions. So yeah, let's not panic about it. It's very important to understand because it's there out, right? And we should know about it.
Yes.
So
just a quick disclaimer to all students
Yes.
out there and everybody who is going to be watching this video, right? That the data that we are going to be discussing is taken from scientific resources and international scientific resources such as Science Magazine, we have Nature and World Health Organization, and from papers that are published, right?
Yes.
So making from the NIH. So we have taken from the respective international resources and this data is updated, or it is still 4th of August.
Yeah.
Which means that monkeypox is a disease wherein we are still doing a lot of research. So there are bound to be more breakthroughs that are going to happen.
Yeah.
But what we are discussing today is just up until what we know of 4th of August.
yes.
So it's a very important disclaimer that is there.
So because these information will be keep on changing because the research is happening, more and more doctors are meeting the patients, understanding, the symptoms might change, treatment might change, anything can happen from here. But as of now, as a current moment, as we are speaking, the information that we are trying to discuss along with all of us is that we have taken from the research, right, from the different organizations which are there, and of course mentioned good organization which actually work.
Yes. So we'll get started. Don't worry, nobody's going to get scared after this, right?
Yeah.
But rather we will be more aware about what's going on. So I think, ma'am, we often see news articles
like this, yeah.
So all of you, if you read the news, right, or if you see the paper, or I think when they see it on TV, they read a lot of things like this.
Yes.
And I think, ma'am, at one go, it gets very scary to read it, right?
Yeah, because I think we get afraid of things that we are kind of unaware about. We don't know the full information. That's why we kind of feel not so safe. But if we have the right information, if you're more aware about the situation, of course, that gives us a confidence and then we don't feel afraid of it, right? So we are here trying our best to make sure that you are aware about the situation.
Yes. And I think over the past few years, I would say, in the recent past especially, you know, we've been seeing terms like pandemic, right? And now we see that, you know, it is an endemic in some countries. So we're seeing these terminologies, you know, suddenly coming out and everybody's very focused on this, right? So what do we mean by endemic or pandemic, right? What are these terminologies? So first and foremost, I think it's very important, ma'am, that we tell them what is what, right?
Yes. So let's understand these terms so that we are clear next time when you read the newspaper, you know what are these terms are. So first, of course, we have epidemic, right? Which is nothing but when then an infection disease occurs in a community at a particular time. So let's suppose this time we have a particular disease, right? And of course, it's an infectious disease. So we call it as an epidemic. Next term, ma'am.
We have pandemic, right? And now we know pandemic is not a new word because we've been hearing it over, especially with the COVID times. And this is when a disease or a condition is prevalent over a whole country, which means that it's affected large number of people all throughout the world, right? So this is important to understand. And then we have this word called as endemic, which is very important, especially when you're going to be learning about monkeypox, right, ma'am?
Yes. Now, of course, endemic have two beautiful terms. Like, I'm sure you have heard about this in the conservation of animals also.
Yes.
You will find a particular thing in that particular area only. And that, of course, we call it as the endemic. So similarly, when you read over here, endemic is when a disease condition is regularly found amongst a particular set of people or an area. So that's the endemic.
Yes. So now you understand the difference between epidemic, endemic and pandemic, right?
Give
so now,
a thumbs up.
Yes, quick guys, quick show of hands to know that we know this, because this is the basics. Now, how are all of this connected? There are some diseases which we may find only in a certain area, right?
Yes.
And it might be prevalent there. That is an endemic disease. And sometimes the number of cases of that same disease will keep increasing at a sudden go. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, especially during monsoon seasons, ma'am, the dengue cases rise considerably because mosquito breeding will be more.
Yeah.
So that becomes an epidemic for that brief period of time. But if it's highly infectious and it starts to spread, that disease could also become a pandemic.
Yes.
So you need to understand this basic difference when we talk about diseases and how all of this is interrelated to one another. So what is this monkeypox, right? What is monkeypox in the first place? So, ma'am, I think we can tell them. A lot of kids want to know, is it caused by a bacteria? Is it caused by a virus?
Yeah.
Is it caused by, any other organism? I think that's the basic question that we'll have to answer,
Yes.
right? So here, as we know, monkeypox is actually, I think it's caused by a virus, right,
yeah.
ma'am?
Yes. So I'm sure you heard about the chicken pox. How many have heard about chicken pox? Yeah, now they're writing virus.
Yes, and pox as well. Actually, the term pox is not, like you said, it's not a new word.
Yeah.
You've heard of chicken pox anyway, right?
Very good. Yeah, now you're saying. Very good. I'm sure you've heard about the chicken pox, and chicken pox spread. Of course, the causing agent is a virus. Similarly, for monkeypox, the pathogen, right, or the agent, or the one who is responsible for causing it is the virus. Yes, I hope this is clear, right? It's a virus. It's not a bacteria, it's a virus. Now, what we have over here is a timeline that we had. So, initially, I think in 1970, we had our first kind of cases, and of course, we have that information that originated in the African continent.
Yes. And like a lot of you are saying, it was first discovered in monkeys. So here, this 1970 that you see is the first human case that was detected. So you imagine, 1970 was when the first this case was detected in humans. But way before that, in captive monkeys, we found this case and we saw that it was affecting the monkeys. This virus was primarily affecting monkeys and some smaller animals like some rodents and even some dogs, right?
Yeah.
So let's remember this as well, this point, because I think later on we will be learning more about it.
Yeah. So from 1970 we move further to 2003. We see that from the Africa, of course, there were few cases reported in the North America, right? And of course, as the years moves ahead, right, it spread from one place to another. Then of course more in Africa. Then of course, ma'am.
Yes, and around 2018 and 19, we started to see they're all very isolated cases, right? It's not happening, it's not spreading at one go. Here and there, we were observing cases. But of late, what has happened is that it has become a concern. So post 2021, so let's fast forward to 2022, where we are at right now, we see that the number of cases have spread considerably, right,
Yes.
ma'am? So we found it just randomly here and there, a few clusters, but now we are seeing it spread across different countries.
Yes. So as you can see over here, there's a word map, and of course, the cases are throughout the world, and of course, these are the few countries that, of course, have few patients of the monkeypox. So now that's how it gets spreaded. And now that's why we are talking, and that's what we have over here.
Yes. So monkeypox, as we know, is caused by the monkeypox virus, and ma'am, we often refer to it as a zoonotic infection,
Yes.
right? So again, zoonotic is going to be a new word for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if...
Highlight it. Remember this word. New information for all of us, right? Zoonotic. What do you think could be the meaning of this word zoonotic? Yes, think about it. What could be the meaning of this word zoonotic? There's a word zoo, so that's become easy. If that's a hint.
Yes. Any of you can take a guess. For those of you who don't know, it's fine. Like,
Aditya. Nice, very good. Okay, and animals.
very good,
Related to
everyone.
animals. Good.
The 6 to 8 channel looks very quiet today, no?
Yeah, why?
6 to 8, guys, what happened?
I think on both the side. Now that I see over here.
Yes, all right, everyone. So of course, very good. Zoonotic means it's from animals, transmitted from animals to humans.
Yes. So of course, when we talk about this, we have the word zoonotic. So in this particular disease, basically zoonotic diseases are those diseases that actually spread from the animals to humans. Now in a case of monkey, we have the monkey, it's an animal. Of course, we got the disease from them. So yeah, it's a zoonotic disease.
Yes, and of course, it's not the first case of zoonotic disease. You would have heard of, swine flu, right? There was avian, yes,
rabies.
Very
all
good.
These, yeah.
Yes, so all of these are examples, right? So zoonotic diseases are nothing but those diseases which are spread from animals to humans, right? But monkeypox earlier was a rare kind of disease, but over time it's become a little bit of an interest. Now the next question I think everybody would want to know is like, what is its structure? How is it affecting us? Should we be worried, right?
Let's look at this beautiful structure. Yeah. If you look at the structure of this, right? Now it has a brick shaped. See over here? We have the red brick, right?
Yeah.
Usually the red brick that we usually use to make the basically houses. And of course it has that particular shape.
Yes, so this is a rough image, I would say. They are of course still determining the structure. So guys, this is not the final structure. They are still trying to determine it. There's a lot of studies going on, right? So it's important that you understand when we say brick shaped, then of course we know that it has a proteinaceous envelope around it. So of course we know viruses have that proteinaceous envelope, and they have the
double stranded DNA. Now of course there's one thing I think we should be asking them. I'm sure you know this, but what? Viruses are living or not living? A very, very easy question, I would say.
Yes.
I'm sure they have studied in microorganisms.
Yes, they have.
And 9th class, so yeah, they must have studied in 8th class microorganisms.
Right.
Living. Okay, living or non-living? Okay, living and non-living cannot come together. You need to frame them into a sentence and then only it'll be able to work.
Okay, they're giving us a lot of interesting answers. They're neither living nor non-living, okay?
They are between living and non-living. Dilip is saying.
They start, yes, very good everybody. They've got it, ma'am.
Yes, very good. We feel proud to be your teachers.
So yes, they are non-living when outside the body, but once they enter their host organism, they tend to become living because they'll be able to carry out their bodily functions, right? So now a lot of them are asking, ma'am, which animal is getting affected, which animal is there, right?
We have it.
So this is how it gets transmitted, right? So ma'am, you can tell them about it.
Yeah, so from monkey, if you talk about, right? So let's suppose if there's a monkey who has this particular infection of the virus in its body, and if we go and interact with that monkey, of course, we'll be able to get it. So of course, direct contact, if you touch that monkey, skin to skin contact, and of course, if there's a exchange of the body fluid, maybe if the monkey, just if there is any exchange, if the monkey sneezes, and if you're in their, close area, and the droplets can come into our body, and of course, we can get affected.
Yes, so
you
of
want
course,
to add something, ma'am?
Yes, so of course from interaction with an infected animal and interaction with infected human also.
Yes.
Right, so
Vice
both
versa.
pointers are there. So like ma'am said, of course direct contact. So when we say interaction with an animal, an infected animal, ma'am, like ma'am said, it could be through droplets, right? Or sometimes when there are people who are handling these animals and they're not wearing protective gear, right? So then they come in direct contact or skin to skin contact, and that's when it can get spread. The virus can get spread. Then of course we know that if there's an infected human and all of these things happen, then of course from infected to healthy they will be able to go. Right, so it's important that why would we interact? So we as maybe not us, right, but there are the people maybe who live in areas where there could be some monkeys maybe or some wild animals.
And more than that, there are a lot of conservation that happens for these animals, right? So just in case if these animals are infected, and if there's a caretaker who's taking care of these animals, goes and take care of those animals, and if at all the infection moves from the animal to the human, and then from the human to the different other individuals, that's how the chain will start spreading.
And that's one such way is the direct one that we spoke. Now a lot of them are saying, ma'am, but we may not, there may be people, right? So the thing is, Another thing is from this, it could spread to other animals. For example, domestic dogs that might be there, right?
Yeah.
Animals interact with one another, right? So there is a potential that it can spread from animal to animal eventually where we will be coming in contact. For example, there was certain cases reported where pet dogs that were there were infected, and through the pet dogs, it got spread to their owners.
Yes.
So you understand that it may not be directly the infected monkey, it could even be indirectly. But even now, I think, ma'am, they are still the natural reservoir. What is the actual starting point is something that they are still doing research on, right?
So we cannot just pin one particular point that is the reason for it. The kind of still research going on, so we will wait for the research. But what we can do as an individual, we will be discussing that later. But these are the important points that we should remember. Are we clear with this all, everyone?
Yes, very quickly everybody, are we clear? We're just understanding the science behind it, right? So of course, we did have a video earlier, but we'll be dwelling on the science of it.
Very good. Give the thumbs up, everyone. Yes. They are saying yes. They got the points. Very good, everyone. You can easily download the notes. Again, for that you need to download the Telegram, and then of course you'll be able to download the notes. Notes are there. Both of us have checked, sorry, and they are there.
How will we know if the monkey is infected? So again, there are a lot of research that is happening on the same, because you will observe certain signs that are there, right? But again, there's a lot of research that is being done, so we don't want to say something inconclusive yet, right? Because like I told you, it's speculation that it's originating from monkeys, but are the monkeys harboring that virus, or is it actually coming from somewhere else, is something that they are still doing research on.
Yeah.
Because like ma'am said, and when we discussed, they are still, when earlier the cases were there, ma'am, there were hardly any few cases.
Yes, and we were not even aware about them.
Yeah, so nobody was paying attention. They're like,
Similarly, now I'm sure you must have heard that there are a lot of articles that will be comparing kind of monkeypox. They may be similar, remotely either one or two similarities are there to the smallpox.
Yeah.
Right? So when we look at the size of the rashes and of course all of these things, they might look similar but they are not, right? There are a lot of different things which are happening, and we need to understand the virus first of all. Then only we'll be able to see the other characteristic features.
Yes. So ma'am, I think we can quickly take them through some of the symptoms. So now what are the signs and symptoms? Yes.
Now, again, for these symptoms, these are the common symptoms which people actually have, right? Now, of course, these symptoms can vary in different individuals, but these are some of the common symptoms. Again, common is like, of course, when we have any invasion of the pathogens into the body, we'll have fever, which is very common. Then, of course, we'll have body ache, right? Then we have the very important, I think, a very prominent symptom for this is the swollen lymph nodes. And of course, we have the rashes all over the body.
Yes. So these rashes, or what we call as lesions, right? Yes. So that is what is a very significant thing here. Now, a second thing that I would like to add to this, right, is that through direct contact. So of course, I mean, the 8th graders would remember when I tell you about, like, because I took microorganisms with them. So when direct contact, the part of your body that is coming in contact, right? So this is something which you need to understand, is that whichever part of the body, your point of entry, yes,
is this.
Yeah. So it could be your skin. Sometimes it could be through the nose, because ma'am said no, through droplets.
Yes.
So nose, mouth, they're all entry points. And once the virus enters into the body, it will start to, of course, like the host organism, it is going to start replicating and, making more of itself. Then when it starts to spread all over the body, it will not just stop there, but it will spread all over the body.
Yes.
And that is when you would observe all of this. And these lesions, especially for monkeypox, for now, ma'am, we see that it's been observed in the face and in the hands and legs, right?
Yes. And they're very prominent, right? So we can easily see them. Now there's a small similarity that, again, as I mentioned, between the monkeypox, smallpox and the chickenpox. That of course, if the individual is there in a room and if we interact with them, of course, there are chances we might get it. So the good way to protect the preventive method is that isolation. If the individual have any of the symptom, we can easily, the isolation is the best way over here. to break the chain, right? That's what will happen during the COVID time also.
Yes. So it's important to separate yourself,
Yes.
and of course it is important to understand, like ma'am, I think during COVID one of the most important things is to observe and understand how
Yes.
long it is taking, right? So there was a lot of research done
Yes.
on that as well. So it's important that there's a lot of research that needs to be focused on, so that they observe what is the pattern of infection, and then later they will come to a conclusion that okay, this is the right kind of
Yes.
treatment. And ma'am, of course, we know with viral infections, the biggest thing is that there's no direct medication, right?
Yeah. So what I think during that time, I'm sure the doctor will always tell you, please take rest, eat home food, drink warm water, and give your body a good rest so that our WBCs will fight. They're the kind of the champions. So they will do all the fighting.
Yes. So ma'am, I think a lot of kids are also asking what are lymph and lymph nodes.
Ah,
So I think we
interesting.
can quickly take them through
Yes.
that.
So when we talk about lymph, So we have blood vessels, right? Yes or no? Now I want you to interact with me. Focus everyone over here. How many of you know that we have blood vessels? Yeah, of course we know that we have blood vessels and our blood flows through them, right? Now when these blood vessels are moving and inside these blood vessels, sometime, like mostly all the time, there's a leakage of it, right? So when the leakage is happening, we'll have WBCs and plasma which will be coming out from it. And this particular combination of WBCs and plasma will be forming a fluid, and that fluid is called as lymph. Are we clear with this? Are they clear?
Yes, everybody. And of course, we know that inside, so there's a lymphatic system in itself, and there will be regions wherein we find that there'll be like bulk structures, what we call as lymph nodes, right?
So when this lymph is there, it's a fluid only, so of course it will be flowing, and it will be flowing in the lymphatic vessels. And these lymphatic vessels, of course, these are very similar to the blood vessels, and they'll form the lymphatic system. And as ma'am mentioned, they will be forming those nodes, right? And that's the lymph node.
Yes.
Very good, yeah, very good, very good.
All right, everybody. So this is a simple thing. Now, I am seeing some questions on if I get chicken pox, will I get monkeypox, right? So there's a lot of questions. See, all this is still speculation. We do not want to say something for which there is no research that is backing.
Yes.
Right? But see, they all come under pox family, right? Because that's at the end of the day, we call it as, the pox family. Now, of course, in terms of understanding how our body is, reacting to it, that is still under studies. But normally what is said is that if we follow proper precautions, they are believing that there is scope for good recovery. So again, this is speculation. Please do not take my word for it, because they are still working on it, right? They're still trying to understand, and they're still trying to learn about it. Yes? All right. So ma'am, I think we can quickly tell them on what all we can do what are the preventive measures we could do, right, along those lines?
So of course, as an individual, if you want to stop the spread of the monkeypox, there are a few things that of course we can easily do. Maintaining a good hygiene, right? A very, very important thing, maintaining a good hygiene. There should be no transfer of the blood fusion, there should be no blood fusion, right? That's very, very, very important. Then of course, you should not be coming into contact of a direct individual who is suffering from it. And of course, no sexual contact. Now, these are the small things that will be able to help us to stop the spreading of the disease like monkeypox.
And at any point, right, if you are feeling, so some of you are asking, how do we know if our lymph nodes are swollen? So this is something you will have to go to a medical professional, right? So see, you have common symptoms. So let's say, assuming an individual is not keeping well, it is important that you go to the doctor and you get a conclusive answer.
Yes.
Because when we sit at home and we start to self-diagnose ourselves, or when we start, reading the internet, it's a very scary place, right, ma'am?
It is very, very scary place, because we don't, first of all, the material which is out there, you don't know whether it's the right material. Is it 100% correct, or just someone have just posted over there? So I think doctor will be able to help us in the best way. So if you have fever, right, if any individual have a fever, they should just I think wait for one day and then just go and meet the doctor. They'll be able to help them.
Yes. So it's important. How can it be detected? Again, all of this is, of course, initial few days, the individual would only see symptoms like muscle pain and, you know, fever.
Yeah.
But eventually what starts happening is that you find lesions on the skin. And when those lesions start to appear, that is the sign for the individual to go visit the doctor, right?
Yes.
It could even be simple chicken pox, but it's always good to be safe, right? Be careful at the right step. Because if those lesions start to grow more and more, and we know so far from studies, it appears on the face, hands and legs. And if this is happening, then we see that it could, you know, sort of appear here and there. So it's good to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Guys, do not, see, this session was not to scare any of you, because I can see some little scary comments also coming
Should
in.
not be, because again, so just remember one important thing, that any disease, right, the best way to fight the disease is the precautions, right? Precautions are always better.
Yeah.
Always better, right? Of course, treatment is definitely there. We will be going, you know, of course, there are a lot of treatment, not specifically for this, but yeah, there will be some medicines that are out there. But precautions is the one thing that as an individual we can do. So I don't find the need to get afraid of things, right? And again, as we mentioned in the beginning only, the awareness, right,
Yeah.
is the key. If you are aware about it, you will not feel afraid. So this session is just to make sure that you are aware about these things, right? You should know what is happening. You should know what you can do.
Yes. Very good, Mandeep. It's just to let you know, right? It should
Yeah.
not come later on that so when you don't know something, sometimes we tend to assume the worst out of it. But when you know what's going to happen, and when you know that this is what I can do, this is my bit. And you imagine if we have good number of students here and all of you are doing your bit, you imagine that in itself will start to make an impact, right?
Yes.
So our intention of coming together, telling you about this, is to make you aware. Tomorrow you will make your friends aware. And by that word of mouth, we make people more aware about it, right?
Yes.
So guys, please don't get scared.
Yeah.
And we would like to end this on a very interesting note,
Yeah.
right? Because ma'am, we hear, like, I'm sure the kids would also be wondering,
Yeah.
why is it that so many diseases are suddenly coming out of nowhere, and what is happening that now there is pandemic and, you know, there is suddenly a rise and emergence of new diseases? How many of you all have ever wondered that, right? Because both of us used to wonder that, like,
Yeah.
what happened suddenly? Any of you feel that way? How is it that suddenly so many diseases are popping up and now, you know, we have to be scared every time one new disease comes? Yes?
Yes, very good, very good. Yeah, I can see many of you saying be positive. Yes, that's what we need, right? It's the requirement of the hour. We should be positive enough, right? We should be getting more and more information about it, spreading the right information and not the false information, right? As the science student, you should take the responsibility of that. Very good, very good. Yes, as ma'am, you have asked the question, the kids are answering the answer.
Yes. So it does happen, right? So what really causes the reoccurrence? So I think, ma'am, we will wind this class up with on this note as to why some of these diseases are re-emerging, right? What
Yeah.
has happened over the period of time that now some disease that was there in 1970, which did not really matter at that point, is
Now
suddenly
it's
the hot topic where everybody just wants to know what's going on.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a very simple thing. Over time, ma'am, I think we've observed that there have been many zoonotic diseases that are coming up,
Yes.
right? So whether it's avian flu, swine flu, right? Now we have monkeypox, and
Yeah.
there are many, many more many more diseases that are going to be there. I read exercise somewhere and I think I just read that off.
Yeah, it happens. Yes, wrote something about the exercise.
Yeah. So normally what happens is simply because of two things. We have increase in human population
That's
and the
of course we all
population explosion, right, ma'am?
Yeah. So, as of course, I'm sure you have observed, and there's a proof in front of us that from the 1970 till now, and of course, if you go back to n number of years, there's a growth of the population. In particular area, of course, the population have grown. You must have seen within 5 years of your, like, if you just focus, if you just look around, I'm sure you must have seen the people are increasing in number. That's one reason, right? The people are increasing, the population is increasing, and the density of the population is also increasing.
Yes. which also means that there is need for more land, right? You need more land to do all your agricultural practices,
Yes,
to live.
Yeah, to build houses. And once the land is there, can you tell? This is a very easiest question. From where the land is coming? You wrote that?
Yeah, I wrote the answer, but you can still tell us.
Yes, from where the land is coming. This goes back to, I think, the conservation part of it, right? From where we are getting the land? Yes, everyone, quickly.
All right, yes.
Very good, yes. So they're coming from the forest, right? Of course, we are cutting down the forest, and it's nothing but the deforestation, as you're writing, ma'am.
Yes. So when deforestation takes place, we know that there is, so what happens is that when you remove the forests that are there, your wild animals have nowhere to go, right? They don't know where to go. Now they become closer to cities and towns. They start interacting with your domestic animals like cattle, pigs, yes. And of course, we also see that as this interaction becomes closer and closer, which is why we see there is an increase in zoonotic diseases, right? And along with this, ma'am, I think increase in air travel also. The fact that we are so connected is what actually causes the spread across the countries, right?
Yeah. So I'm sure you must have heard the news during the COVID times that, a lot of people traveling from one place to another, and that's how it all got started on a very large scale. So yes, that is also one of the reasons for this.
Yes. So it's important that this ecological disturbance, right? You're disturbing the natural ecology, you're disturbing the food chain, a lot of it is happening, and because of that we see that there is a rise in these zoonotic diseases. So what can we do as future scientists, doctors, right? Or even you want to be world leaders, what do you need to do? We need to be more ecologically sound, right, ma'am? We understand what's happening in our country. Or in the world, I would say.
Yeah, and I think we should stand for our Mother Earth, right? We should be the one who should be protecting the environment. The conservation part is really very important because we kind of invaded the animals' land, and that's how they are moving closer to the cities, and that's how there's more interaction with the animals, and of course more spread of the disease, right? So we can take those small steps from our side to assure that things are in a better place. Yes, and of course, we have talked about the precautions, so yeah, that is always there.
And last but not the least, viruses as organisms, I would not call them organisms, but viruses being who they are, have the ability to evolve real fast, right? So they have the ability, even with medication, they are evolving. So it's just, we need to have a sound understanding of how to tackle it. I think, ma'am, once we have that, we know how to go about it.
Yes. So viruses, again, as we already asked you, right? So it is living only inside the body of the individual, and they're not living outside the body. Now, even if they went inside the body, even if the doctors are doing research for n number of years, even if they make some medicines, what happens? The virus keeps on changing, as ma'am had mentioned. So we should continue with the research, making sure that we are taking all the precautions, taking care of our health, our lifestyle, and I think things will be pretty much smooth.
Yes. Is there vaccine and medicine? So we know medication per se, there is supportive medicines that you can give for viral diseases, right? To treat symptoms mainly. But at the same time, in terms of vaccines, conclusively, specifically for monkeypox, you may not, like the vaccine is still not there. But there are vaccines which provide the supportive care, right? So it's important to understand that. And is it more harmful than chickenpox? Nikhat, it's very tough for us to say this because like we know that it's important to have an understanding, right? So they're still trying to understand, figure out, because in order to study any diseases, you need to have you need to know more about it, right?
A bigger gene pool so that they can actually study the symptoms, they can actually study the treatment for it, how we can go about it. Different individuals will have different body reactions per se. So unless we have the proper understanding, it will be difficult for us to say anything. That's why we'll not be able to tell you that. But I think that's one thing that we would say as a bio teachers, that of course diseases can be a little bit scary, but we should not be afraid of them. And if we have the proper precautions, we can definitely battle them.
And of course, I think a very important thing ma'am said, the testing rate, right? So people will only go and start getting tested if they know, right? This is what they should be looking out for. That is why this class is here. Yes, so it's very, very important, all right, to know and to be aware. And I think, ma'am, we can wind up now with this. I hope that all of you enjoyed this class. Everyone, quickly let us know. Ma'am, and I think in the meanwhile, we can tell them about...
Yes, I'm sure you're seeing this field, right? And of course, every teacher is telling you that something amazing and exciting is happening on 7th of August. So stay tuned, right? On 7th of August, we'll have an amazing announcement. And 14th of August will be a big announcement for that. And as many of you are asking for the notes, Telegram group is there. Please join the Telegram group. The link is there in the description box below. Yes, thank you for, they liked our session. Very good.
And of course, we've got you covered no matter what, whether it's all of you wonderful champions or achievers. Thank you so much, everyone. Because stay subscribed to our channel at all times, because we have got you covered and we will be there.
Yeah, and over here we have the proof, right? She's a very amazing student, and of course, she was a YJU'S. Moving ahead, of course, don't forget to hit the like button. Share with your friends. Now, this video is full of the positive information. There's no negative information over there. It's just to make sure that you all are aware. So please share with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more, more awareness, I would say, and more in terms of learning.
Yes. So share it with your friends, subscribe, and of course, lots of love to everyone out there. I think we can sign off, ma'am.
Yes. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care of yourself. Stay safe and keep yourself healthy. And keep on learning with BYJU'S.
Yes. Bye, everybody. Good night.